I'm going to tell you exactly why. Okay? Joan signed some little piece of paper that said they weren't going to tell you anything about me and that they weren't going to tell me anything about you. That's start off, okay? Big barrier of ignorance. But again, literally, hun, like 12, 14 years ago, I told Joan exactly what Rachel was going to do. And this is exactly what Rachel has done. You don't. What your mother says about her relationship with Andy is probably not near the truth. And the others that came before this final last resort, probably not the truth at all. That's honestly not my concern. What I do want to let you know is this. What I said to Joan is that she was probably actually going to create some sort of family dynamic very similar to the family dynamic that I was raised under. The male is really negligible. They're really more of a placeholder. It's not a relationship there. There isn't communication. And whatever communication there is based off of lies. That's the problem with it. You can't have a relationship that is built on lies. This Andy that stepped on in, he didn't step into a scenario where he was being told the truth. I'm supposed to be mad about that because I know that fact? And the way that whiteness runs its narrative, we're supposed to gloss over everything that your mother did and we're only going to focus on my supposed reactions? And then we're going to say that I refuse to step up to be a father because of that? None of that follows any logic, number one. None of that is true, number two. It's not accurate. And number three, what is the result of that narrative? The result of that narrative is this current conflict that we're having to negotiate via digital platforms. No, I'm never going to have respect for the people that you call your family. I'm never going to. There's nothing to respect there. There's nothing respectable about it. They haven't done anything that is respectable. They have acted like arrogant, egomaniacal fools. I'm supposed to somehow, not say that? When these people became parents when they were children themselves. And they're still trying to run away from their childish behavior and act as though they can brush it under the rug. And I, as a brown man, am supposed to bear the burden for all of it? I'm supposed to bear all the blame? You kidding me? It's a joke. And I'm not mad. I am looking at a beautiful blue sky and there are mountains out my window. I'm not mad. I think it's stupid. I think the entire thing is stupid. Why should I act like it is? Why should I act like it isn't stupid when it is incredibly stupid? Because again, it's the same thing. It is the same thing. Well, you're just mad. You're just jealous of Andy. I don't care. Because I knew when I was 5 and 6 years old and I wanted to find my mom and my sister, that didn't mean that Joan or James meant any less. That didn't mean that I loved them any less just because I wanted to find my mom or my sister. That's the thing. That's what I said to your mother. If your relationship is actually healthy, then you should be able to withstand me having a relationship with my child. But they couldn't handle that. That's why they had to vilify me for smoking cannabis and say that I needed to work a full-time job. Where again, you want to tell me that you know your rights and you know the law? You literally need to read Revisor. Because you don't know the law and you don't know your rights. Period. You don't. Well, I'm supposed to act like you running up and telling me this foolishness is okay and is realistic and is reasonable and is mature and you're an intelligent person for doing this? I am sorry, sweetie, but I care about you too much. Your behavior is foolish and you are acting like a fool. You're smarter than this. I know you are. And your mother is smarter than this. I know that for a fact. The man she calls a husband, I don't think that he has any agency within the relationship. Now again, you need to start understanding the sociological difference between agency and power. Like I said, you gotta be smarter before you come talk to me. Don't you dare come running on up to me acting like you can run your mouth about this stuff. You're only gonna hurt yourself. Period. Don't do it. Because that's the thing. Like, I was never jealous of your mother's other boyfriends because they're not me. Sure, call me egotistical or whatever, but they're never going to be able to hold a candle to me. I don't, like, the best scenario did happen. The person that you call your dad he's not hurtful. He's not harmful. And the people that your mother was dating, there was the risk of that. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like I said, you gotta know science before you come speak to me. It's not just that your mother was raised by people who are racist. It's that your mother was raised by people who have a dependency on alcohol. So what's the probability of exactly, like, I'm sorry, but I can't trust that you're in an actually healthy environment, especially when you're behaving like this. And you're not going to convince me that they're good people and that you're in a healthy place when you are acting and speaking like this. It doesn't make sense. It's never going to make sense. And y'all need to go through therapy. Y'all need therapy. And you got to be honest with that therapy. It's not going to be functional to point your finger at me and blame me for everything, because it takes two to tango. And I'm the only one that's actually been actively working to resolve these issues. I'm the only one that's willing to acknowledge these issues. And look at how your state and your country are doing. Because even within your own state, country, and community, y'all just beginning to be able to confront the issues of white supremacy. And I'm supposed to sit here feeling like I'm a bad person and I just gotta take it? I mean, that was the craziest thing for Joan. Well, the word that she said really remind me of a lot of things that you said to us. Yeah, sweetie. The thing about it is that I had 18 years of you being my parent in my life, and it was an absolute unmitigated disaster. My child telling me that I have a real father. I saw the men that your mother brought into your life before him, and I knew him before you were born. I'm not impressed. You're a child. You're easily impressionable. I mean, I'm sorry, but there are too many other women who I have met who had narcissistic mothers, to be completely honest. And it wasn't until their early 20s that they were able to start building a relationship with their father. And they realized that the only reason they didn't have a relationship with their father was because their mother was narcissistic and was not mentally or emotionally stable. And again, like, you really need to comprehend the sociology, the anthropology, the psychology, the economics, the biology, the biochemistry, the physics. You really got to have a solid grasp on that before you ever try and come tell me anything. You're only going to get hurt. And I'm supposed to be mad because you run up on me and you got hurt? I'm supposed to take the blame for that? Who taught you to stalk people on Facebook? Who taught you to throw maniacal allegations out of nowhere? It wasn't me. You've had an opportunity to calmly speak to me. You had an opportunity to message me. But the reason you couldn't and didn't is because your mother has manipulative control and is watching everything you do, say, and think. That's not healthy either. Well, I'm supposed to act like just because you get good grades or something that you're healthy? I know that's foolishness. Just because you get straight A's doesn't mean that you're right in the brain or the heart. And if you don't confront those issues of your head and heart, you're going to have way bigger problems in the future than getting straight A's. Like I said, like, you ain't... And it's not that I don't care, but to a large degree, this behavior that your mother has manifested is laughable. And it's hard not to laugh at the ridiculousness of it. Because again, I am viewing all of these things as a holistic story where the parts and the pieces do fit together. And it is really absurd. It's sad and it's absurd. And I've tried to be able to engage other people to help because, again, nothing is ever accomplished alone. My failure is not my individual failure. It is a reflection of the failures of the community that I was and am within. And then you want to say, oh, well, Cannon, now you're down in Columbia. You got your own community you can build. In so many ways, you are correct. But also in so many ways, I am an economic lifeboat for my community. And that causes... Again, white people always expect that literally black and indigenous people are supposed to be miracle workers and magicians. We're not. We're just more connected to the planet than you, and that makes us more open to reality than you. But that doesn't make us magicians. Anyways. I mean, and that's the thing. You need to be working. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you blah, 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 blah? Because I'm not going to spend my life slaving away for $1. I don't care what you put at the end of that road. I'm going to be safe. I've been through so much trauma, and I really only have the expectation of more trauma throughout my life. I'm gonna do what I can to protect my peace and stay safe. These people are sending my child to attack me? Like, okay, that's fine. That's the other thing. Maybe you should slow down or be nice to your child. I know how strong my child is. And if she can't take it, then she shouldn't be playing with this. And she knows better. And if she don't know better, she need to learn better. Figure it out. Because again, she knew what she was doing when she was sending her stupid message. Same way her mother knows what she'd be doing when they send their stupid message and say their stupid crap. My favorite was when her mother messages me and says, he goes to school full-time and he works full-time and he's a real man. And I'm like, Rachel, you were socially and emotionally abused as a child, and you're still repeating that onto the people in your life, and I'm not allowing you to do it to me. Just because your little white tool goes to school full-time and works full-time, there are so many different contextual reasons as to why he's able to do that. Because when I was working 2 jobs and going to school full-time, you were it's just really unkind for me to talk about how you were behaving, because the way that you were behaving, there aren't pretty words to describe it. There's actually really vulgar words to describe it, and I'm not going to use those vulgar words. But I also know the truth of it, so trying to shame me for anything, it's a fool's errand, and you're an idiot. Again, that's why, I mean, for me, honesty and integrity, like, I love these middle fingers. I don't really care what the hell it is that you have to say about me, because you don't know your ass from your goddamn elbow. Period. Again. You don't play with fire if you don't want to get burned. These people knew exactly what they were doing. This woman knows exactly what she was doing when she had my child. This is the game that she wanted to play. Baby, you want to play these games. I've been playing these games all my life, and you hate it because you always lose. And you know that. You know that. You knew that going in. Because I'm not worried about winning. I mean, that, like I said, like, that's just, like, the craziest, the funniest thing to me, because, like it is. This woman, the mother of my child, it was, there was a lot of beauty and a lot of magic around the beginning of the relationship. And it was really special. And there were these times, and I'm always gonna remember when we playing cards, we playing rummy in the family room or whatever. You know, we play 3 rounds, and she gets so mad. We get to round 3 and I win. Now 2 more. We go 5 rounds, I'll win again. She goes so mad. Why? How? And I'm like, 'cause I don't care. It's just a game to me. There's other things I'm gonna worry about. No, my child is not a game to me. And her world is not a game to me. But the way you treat in these relationships is like a stupid game. Because you're white, and you don't understand the context and the reality that I have to live with, not being white. And you don't give any space for that. You just demand that I fit within your little comfort box. But your little comfort box is my coffin. Why would I try to fit in a coffin you made for me? We're not trying to do that. I'm sorry, but you really need to have a lot more academic understanding before you can understand the words that you just said. I mean, again, that's just the thing about it. Especially being in Minnesota. I mean, seriously, I try to disconnect myself from Minnesota, and it's still like every single week I'm hearing of another black, brown, or non-white person leaving the state because the state is completely toxic. And you want to try to say that I didn't step up, I couldn't get a job, I wouldn't do this? No. I was not going to allow myself to be abused by white people in Minnesota because that is literally the only thing that white people and their tokens will do. That is why people like Shaka M. Colley and Ashley Fairbanks and Aisha Gomez are going to take a white Latino predator and get him hired by Ilhan Omar. It's not a healthy place, period. And trying to tell me that I'm the problem, good luck, because that ain't accurate. And I am really excited about what's happening and what's going on. I'm letting today just kind of go again. Like, this is like, I don't live your Gregorian calendar. I don't live your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever the hell. That isn't my calendar. That's not my life. I'm not a white Christian capitalist. And I have today to be able to just breathe and relax and take a walk and let the energy flow and let the world do the work that it needs, and I find myself within this flow. No, I'm not, no. I'm not letting some capitalistic authority tell me that I need to cut off my emotions and fit in their little box so I can help them maintain their bottom line. Are you... I don't do that. I won't do that. That is not how I will live my life. Ever. People who try to force me to live my life like that, you are slave drivers, you are slave masters, you are violent, horrible demons. Period. It doesn't mean that I can't work. It doesn't mean that I don't want to work. And so for you to try to draw that conclusion, again, you're an idiot. Go down to my little spot and get lunch. that juice. Let's see, because like I'm surrounded by people that are genuinely more or less happy to see me. In Minnesota, you're just gonna run into people that are more or less genuinely happy to use you. There's a huge difference. And that difference has a massive impact. I guess I'm just... You ever seen a full-grown man with a 3-finger whiskey yelling at his adult pregnant child because that adult pregnant child won't call the man's other child who's dealing drugs? Actual drugs? Like cocaine? I'm a bad person for... Oh, but they don't do that anymore! The power of whiteness. And again, I'm supposed to just gloss over this like, oh, that's not really that big of a deal, because again, I am supposed to be proof that race doesn't really matter. I was given a white education, I was given all the white opportunities. And again, it's 1,000% laughable to me. Because again, and I love this. I love this. You know, and folks love to attack you when you're vulnerable, and that's cool. Like, I'll be vulnerable. You attack me. I don't really care. I'm content. And there's a difference between happiness and contentment. I think you need to have contentment before you can actually have genuine happiness. And contentment, that's the stability that gets you through the ups and the downs. And the tumult of life, which is inevitable. Happiness will come. But I'm not gonna chase happiness like it. Happiness will come. And I guess, that was really it. Again, being adopted and really having to process this fine line between what I can control and what I can't control. And being a brown person adopted into a white society and a white community, realizing that every single white person has an invested interest in being complete liars. These people don't know the truth when it smacks them in the face, and they will deny it when they're bruised up in the ER because they got smacked by more than one. Literally. Because again, so many times, just trial and error of me literally watching, and literally, like, that's a thing. Like, even in my school, like, my name was Chris and I'm brown, here's another Chris who is white, and we have literally been talking about our life trajectories for the better part of the past 30 years. And noticing, because again, for both of us, when we look at each other, there is intellectual respect. We know that our intelligence, our capacity to perceive and process is equal. Okay? They studied genetics, I studied economics and statistics. These are complex sciences. You need to be able to hold multiple truths. You need to be able to think deeply in order to converse about these things. You can't be stupid and pursue these topics or conversations. And so us, and this Chris, our behavior and our values are so very similar. That is why we have been a very interesting control for each other to watch what happens when somebody white named Chris walks through this community and when somebody brown named Chris walks through this community. So again, trying to tell me that these things are my fault, the science doesn't fit. And again, like I said, I got videos. There are hundreds, there are thousands of people who have gone through what you've gone through and done what you've done, and they find a way to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and make it work. And the biggest issue with that I find, and I don't really like the dude, I think that Malcolm Gladwell, I think he's kind of another, high-paid token jackass, but there are some things to what he said when you look at people's life stories. When you look at these people who broke the mold or got through the glass ceiling, when you look at their stories, there's usually some very significant and pivotal event or a pivotal aspect that enabled or allowed for them to do X, Y, and Z, where now these people are saying, well, look at them, they're a good brownie, they're a good blackie, why can't you be like that? Because these two middle fingers are just too goddamn beautiful. Like, are you gonna deny them? I can't. Look at them. How you doing, baby? Fuck you. Alright, it's too beautiful. I'm gonna go out and walk. Y'all fucking... I wish y'all the best of luck, because you need that. I don't think luck gonna help, but shit.